right, let's start by verifying that we are official with a quorum.
Director Cooney,
Present.
Director Medved, Director Bill,
Here.
President Van Vliet.
Here.
Hearing 4, 1 absent, quorum met.
Great. And just to clarify, our Director Doherty is here. He's just he's not well today, so he's unable to attend us, but our thoughts are certainly with him tonight. Hope he gets better quickly. Okay, let's the one quick administrative item, and then we'll get into our comments. Is there a motion to approve the September board meeting minutes?
Motion. Second.
Okay, motion first and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Hearing 4 in favor, motion carries.
Perfect. All right, with that, we will do our public official comments. So Director Burke, could you please join us up front, please?
President Van Vliet, board members, neighbors, friends. I'm going to try and keep this pretty short, and I'm actually going to end with some good news. I want to thank Jen Ruff and her son for really spearheading the petition regarding the Crescent Gardens project that is outside of the gates. If our residents aren't aware of that, that is a proposed cemetery in the watershed that feeds directly into Canyon Lake. And since it's a drinking water reservoir, as well as there's some groundwater concerns, there has been some major pushback, not only from the water district, but obviously from our residents and Meadowbrook and Good Hope. The current status of that project is that they are going to be going back and having the assessment redone. So the environmental has to be redone. There were major deficiencies in that study. The study was done by a traffic engineer. We'll just leave it at that. So Councilman Smith and I have been visiting a number of the supervisors. We believe it'll come back to the County Planning Commission probably spring. Regardless of what happens at that meeting, we believe it will go to the full Board of County Supervisors. At that point, we will need to all be present and make our voices heard at that point, depending on what the applicant or the developer decides to do. So we're waiting for that. I wanted to thank your staff for the wonderful job they did at the State of the City. It went very smoothly and it was a wonderful event, and definitely a demonstration of partnership. Laura and her team did a great job. If you have a commercial property in this region, Metropolitan is offering you $7 a square foot to change your turf out to drought tolerant. So if you had an acre, that's over $300,000. Wow is a good word, right? So $7 a square foot for commercial, not for residential, but for commercial properties. And that also includes, I believe, if you have a manufacturing plant, and they're really identifying turf that's not useful. Like it's in a parking lot, or it's in an area where nobody is playing. It's not a playground or anything. It's just turf that people have to mow and maintain that really isn't functional. So that's some good news. If you have not yet downloaded our app, I used it the other night at the country club when we had an odor, and you can report something that's a non-emergency event. I really encourage you to do that. They will send you a text. They'll call you the next day. This doesn't mean if you hit a fire hydrant or you see someone does, or you have a major leak, or there's a health and safety issue. But if there's a nuisance issue or something you'd want to report, you can use the app in it, and it is quite helpful. We are continuing to approve major capital improvement projects. So I believe we are approving one for a lift station on Mission Trail on Thursday night. Mission Trail is at full capacity. So without these improvements, we would have a moratorium on development in the Wildemar, South Lake Elsinore area until those improvements would be done, and that would be 2029. And that is something nobody wants to do. So the reason that is happening is there was a developer that was supposed to make those improvements. We had allowed him to put in the homes ahead of that improvement, and he went bankrupt. So the homes went in, the infrastructure didn't. Obviously, that policy has changed. So the infrastructure goes in first, then the homes go in, and that's why. Our Horse Thief Canyon wastewater plant, which was an expansion, and it was a partnership between 4 developers and the water district, just received an innovation award, the National Innovation Award at the Water Environment Federation Conference in Chicago as one of the most innovative treatment plants for the wastewater industry. So we're very proud of that as well. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Darcy. Question on the turf replacement. Does that include artificial turf or does it have to be drop
No.
tolerant?
So synthetic turf or artificial turf is now banned because
Really?
it has PFAS in it.
Oh,
My favorite chemical du jour. So no more synthetic turf.
Darcy, is that a city, county, state? What is is it Elsinore Water District?
Well, we won't pay to replace it anywhere in metropolitan service area, but there is legislation that was recently passed that nothing with PFAS can be installed, basically. So now they're going after your cookware, your dental floss, your makeup, for those following along at home. They're trying to remove it out of the marketplace. So right now, if it's produced and it's in the marketplace, obviously you can buy it, but we will not incentivize you to put PFAS back into the market, especially with runoff. It goes right down the drain here into the gutter, into the lake.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are we good?
Darcy, I know I just got back from a long vacation in South America and I have such a great new appreciation for what you and your fellow workers in the water district. So, to be able to use a working toilet, to be able to brush my teeth without using a bottle of water to do it. It's those luxuries that we take for granted that we certainly learn to appreciate. So thank you for everything you do.
Oh, you're welcome. And this is actually Water Professionals Appreciation Week, so perfect timing, President Van Vliet. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think we have anyone from the city. So I'm going to invite Joe. Come on up and tell us about claps. What is a clap?
Well, good evening. I'm Joe Kamation here on behalf of the CLAPS, which is the Canyon Lake Association of past presidents of the Men's Golf Club. We have a long history in Canyon Lake, and we're here tonight to thank you, the entire POA, both past and present, including management, staff, especially operations department, and the board, for their continued support of our golf course and our annual CLAPS beautification tournament, which has raised upwards of $150,000 over the last 20 years. That $150,000 all went back into the golf course. None of the proceeds, stay in our treasury or our personal use or our use as a club, but it goes back into the beautification and improvement of the golf course. Some of the things we've done in the past are the concrete benches throughout the golf course, replace the old T signs with bronze signs in 2015. We did it again in 2024. We replaced all the bronze signs because of the reconfiguration of the golf course. The concrete lighthouse, we put that in, as well as landscaped around that area on hole number 6. And we provided multiple trees over the years. Matter of fact, years ago, it wasn't called a beautification tournament. It was called a tree tournament. And that was the purpose of it then, but has evolved into the beautification tournament and other projects. We've done upgrades to the driving range teeing area. We expanded the putting green. And of course, the 11-foot clock that stands at the centerpiece of the golf course, which was our gift to the community in 2018. So after two very successful beautification tournaments in 2024 and 2025, we are pleased to present to you, the POA, a check for $29,000 for improvements for the following 7 projects that we've talked about with our general manager, which is materials for the walking bridge on hole number 6, refurbish and powder coat the large clock at the putting green, provide 15 more large tree boxes, large trees throughout the course, provide 2 new drinking fountains at the restrooms on the course, refurbish the concrete lighthouse on hole number 6, refurbish both of the restrooms that haven't been touched in a number of years, and provide funding for new furniture at the driving range, which will be a great addition to our community and the golf course. We're proud to be part of Canyon Lake and pleased to have the support of the POA with our efforts to improve our golf course. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Joe. Come on up and
And with
bring your board up and let's accept that.
I'll ask the claps to come up.
You know, to Joe and all the former presidents, we really thank you guys for all you do. The beautification tournament is great. It raises a lot of money. It makes our beautiful golf course one of the nicest, certainly I think in the community. And more importantly, I think this is a great example of things, the good partnerships that we have with many of our clubs that we're looking for, and that is the POA is going to continue to add these improvements to the course, but we're getting here donations and sponsorship from the members and the clubs that benefit. And so great job, you guys. Thank you so much for all you do. Really appreciate it. All right, now tonight we're modifying our rules a little bit tonight. So we normally have a member of the month, but you know, there's so much that has happened that we decided we need to broaden that a little bit. So the members of the month this time go to the Guild. The Guild started in 2001 to offer a wide range of musical events for Canyon Lake, and it's grown to over 200 members today. In addition to offering high quality concerts by cover bands, the Guild donated $25,000 to the amphitheater at Holiday Harbor and $10,000 for the new sound system in the Holiday Bay Room, along with giving out other scholarships and donating to other clubs. Their current board includes Bonnie Dubbs, Larry Garland, Chris Papavero, Cindy Cameron, Iris Strickland, Brian Wood, and Casey Castillo. In 2017, the Guild created Harborfest to provide a free concert to the whole community, so more than its members, but to the whole community. And it was with a Fleetwood Mac band at the time, tribute band. And that was their give back to the community. And they've continued that year over year, every year since. This year's Harborfest was a huge success. It was a picture-perfect Saturday evening. And Jimmy Buffett music filled the air. I know I happened to be on vacation, but I got all kinds of photos and things saying man, you're really missing out here. And again, have done such a great job for our community. And it's a great thing. Again, what started with a club of 200 people is something that's given back to all of our 12,000 residents. That anyone can come up, you can boat up to it, you can go to the Holiday Harbor and just enjoying the events. And so for those significant contributions, we'd like to invite the board to come up and accept the Member of the Month. Talking to this?
I can. So I want to thank, first of all, our members, well, first the board, our associates, Jenny, Kathy, Dave, they're here right now, and all our volunteers. Without all of them and our board, and our members, the field would not be possible. So, and something big happened this last time with the POA, and we kind of partnered together, and you guys took very good care of us. So we appreciate what the POA has done for us as well.
We appreciate all you do for the community.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, we don't have to get up again. Now it's time for a community patrol update. So Ken and Zach. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. I jumped ahead again.
False alarm.
But we do have an employee of the quarter. So Eric.
Okay, so every quarter we like to give an award to our employee of the quarter. And this person has no idea this is coming. 11 years ago, this person came to work at the Canyon Lake POA as a marketing specialist. She's sitting over there, turning red. And Tiffany Cribbs then became our communications specialist. Last April, she stepped up to become our Director of Community Services. Tiffany now oversees all community service related departments, which include our recently revamped activities department, which is now our recreation department, our member services department, and our communications department and team. Tiffany is one of the hardest working employees we have. If I have a crisis that happens at midnight, I can text Tiffany and I always get an answer back in minutes. And whatever the crisis may be, within minutes, she and her team will craft whatever communication we need to get out to the community almost immediately. Night or day, vacation, no vacation, birthday, day off, doesn't matter. Tiffany has done an amazing job overseeing and making improvements to each one of these community services departments that she oversees. I'm very proud to give our Employee of the Quarter award to Tiffany Cribbs. Turned sufficiently red.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Thank you for all you do, Tiffany. We appreciate you.
All right, Ken, sorry, I got a little eager. I couldn't wait to see you up here, so give us an update, please.
Good evening. One thing I wanted to bring to everybody's attention is, as you know, the sun's starting to set a lot sooner. At the start of this month, parks began to start closing at 8 p.m. You will see patrol officers go ahead and go into the parks. We know that everybody loves to enjoy the amenities. However, though, they are now going to be closed until April 30th. So on May 1st, it will begin to start closing at 10 p.m. again. In regards to August, we had 72 stop sign enforcement violations issued. The majority of those were at Galt Field during Little League practice. I want to remind everybody that with Little League going on, we want everybody to just make sure we completely stop, ensure there's no children crossing the road before you continue down the road. I'm also happy to announce that in regards to e-bike violations, Community Patrol is also stepping it up in regards to reckless behavior, and also them being here at the lodge and at Holiday Harbor. In regards to reckless behavior on an e-bike, we were able to issue 8 violations with camera footage to prove the violation, as well as 10 violations for individuals being at Holiday Harbor and at the lodge when they are not supposed to be. The last point that I would like to bring to everybody's attention is misuse of access identification. While in August, we only had 8 citations issued for that, and for those who don't know, that's primarily when you give your POA card out to another non-member and have them try to enter the community using it. In September, we've actually seen a spike where over 15 additional citations have been issued to these members for giving out their POA cards. This is being found by several gate officers by being able to stop them, do a secondary check, and realizing the individual on the card is not the individual attempting to enter the community. It is a violation to give your card out to non-members to have them enter the community, and citations have been issued for those.
Thank you, Zach. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'll talk about a couple of things. Zach pointed out that we did a focus patrol during Little League. We focus attention where needed, and we take requests. If you see something, say something. Feel free to email at security@canyonlakepoa.com. My number is available. You can call my extension, and we can chat about that, because several people do every day. Just as a reminder, that's an opportunity. One of the things that we reacted to back in September was on the 5th. I don't know if it was a back to school celebration or whatever, but we had a lot of kids on e-bikes going through the community on what they call a ride out. Now, these happen regularly. They like to post about them. There are social media places you can go where ride outs are celebrated amongst this culture, and from all over the country, kids upload their videos from the ride outs. Haven't seen ours on there yet, but we did see the plans for this one were provided to us by someone who noticed that on social media. And once we saw who posted it, we recognized the name and we know where they live outside the community. Got to run into that person during this ride out and personally asked them to leave pending, arrest for trespassing, because he comes in through the exit. So got to tell him to leave personally. That was fun. We had a couple officers out there following and recording the kids on the e-bikes. Several citations were written. They blew through stop signs, were doing wheelies, clogged up the roads, and were crossing the double yellows. Some of those citations were just sent out last week, and I'm starting to get phone calls from parents actually today. So that was well received. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Any comments or questions for Ken or Zach?
Yeah, Zach, you said you had 15 entries of someone using a POA card that wasn't theirs. You may not know this off the top of your head, but are they a particular gate?
We're seeing a mixture of a lot of gates, but the one that I saw the most that I can think of off the top of my head was Main Gate at this time.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to thank you, Ken, for getting on top of the e-bikes, monitoring. I know it takes time to monitor the social media and all these things that go on to catch us. And I always prefer what's the word I'm looking for? To deter this as opposed to apprehend. And that's always, in my mind, the best approach. So I appreciate the proactive approach.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate our hard work. All right. We don't have any announcements. I will say one thing. We do get cards and letters and phone calls and texts and messages, sometimes Facebook messages delivered to us and so forth. So I want people to know there was one concern that came up in the community over the course of the past month revolving an incident at the lodge and specifically addressing concerns and issues with April McKinnon, who's done a lot of great singing and a lot of things for our community, from trivia to just music in the bands and so forth. As we looked into that situation, we contacted April and all the parties involved. And I want to let everyone know that there were, after we've discovered a few things, a number of misunderstandings, but we have gotten together, we worked it out, and things are successfully being resolved to the mutual benefit of all parties. So more to come on that through the individuals involved. But I want everyone to know that it has been addressed, and we are resolving any differences. With that, are there any members that would like to speak?
No, we have no member comments tonight.
All right, then let's get down to business. Why everyone attends this meeting. Okay, the first one, Susan. No, consent agenda. Is there an approval, motion rather, to approve consent agenda items A through C?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
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 Hearing four in favor, motion carry.
I will add to that, in our executive session, we had an excellent overview of our finances by Susan and team. One of the most important responsibilities we have as board members is the fiduciary responsibility to keep an eye on expenses and costs and all the things that are going on. And we got the reporting that we're getting is getting better and better every month. And Susan, thank you for all the hard work there. Okay, so let's begin with item 8.1. Andre, you want to lead us off on general rule and appeals and fines?
Sure. We are asking the board for a 28-day reading tonight regarding GR Rule 1.4 establishes procedures for disciplinary hearings, fines, suspensions, and appeals. The current language predates recent legislation, and changes are required to update the rule to current law and practice. The proposed revisions strengthen due process protections and update notice procedures. They also update provisions regarding postponements and failure to appear situations and more clearly assign jurisdiction to the appropriate committees. These updates ensure that the Canyon Lake POA enforces process complies with state law, provides consistency across hearings, and offers members a clearer understanding of their rights and responsibilities. It's recommended that the Board of Directors approve the 28-day reading of the revision to GR Rule 1.4 disciplinary hearings and appeals of fines and suspensions.
Thank you, Andrea. Do we have a motion to approve this 28-day reading?
Motion approved.
Second.
All right. We have a first and a second. Are there any member comments or questions about this item? Board comments, questions? I know this is one item that we got a lot of input from our legal counsel to be consistent with state law and to make sure that our members get fair due process for that. And so, given that, is all in favor of approving this 28-day reading, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
All right, you did so good with that one, Andrea. Let's try again.
Okay, tonight we're asking the board for a 28-day reading to increase fines for PC.1.2 and PC.4.1. Following changes in the civil code relative to fines, namely Civil Code 5850 and 5855, the POA revised its fine schedule to, among other things, reduce fines which do not fall within the health and safety exception to the $100 limit on fines imposed by the updated civil code sections referenced above. Upon review of the updated fine schedule, it appears additional operating rules fall within the health and safety exception, namely PC.1.2 and PC.4.1. These rules are quoted below and follow within the health and safety exception for the following reasons. The fines for the violations will increase for PC.1.2 from 100 to 250, and for PC.4.1, it would increase from 100 per month instead. It's recommended that the Board of Directors approve the 28-day reading for the proposed fine changes to PC.1.2 and PC.4.1 as attached.
Thank you, Andrea. Do we have a motion to approve this 28-day reading?
Motion.
Second.
All right, we have a first and second. Any member comments or questions about this 28-day reading? I do want to emphasize to everyone that for every 28-day reading, if you have comments or questions later, upon reflection, or you want to read it further, you can always send us a letter and note over the next month, because we'll take it up to vote on at the next period. Any board member comments or questions? Nope. All in favor of approving the 28-day reading, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Thank you, Andrea. Tiffany, our employee of the quarter.
Good evening. So you guys have me for the next, I think, 5 board action items. So I'll try to make them quick. So this is a rule approval for GR 2.9 and 2.21. Legal counsel suggested updates to strengthen our rules and clarify enforcement, which were sent to the Rules and Regulations Review Committee for review. This proposal includes revising General 2.9 to cover disturbances and nuisances, and restating General 2.21 as meeting conduct with the added section for meeting recordings and reproductions. I want to clarify that that part was already a policy that we had in place, and this rule just makes it clear and enforceable. These rule changes were presented last month, and so we are recommending that the board approves amending General Rule 2.9 and General Rule 2.21.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Right. Any member comments or questions on this rule revision? No? All right, board member comments or questions? No, I know we discussed it in the prior month. It's pretty straightforward. All in favor of approving item 8.3, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Okay, the next one is a 28-day, or I'm sorry, a rule approval for Parks and Beaches changes. The Rules and Regulations Review Committee was asked to look at the rules document and recommend ways to streamline it. Most recently, this committee reviewed the Parks and Beaches section. This proposal removes rules that are already covered under our general rules, relocates rules that fit better in that section, and eliminates items that function more as policies and rules. One rule is also being revised to clarify reservation requirements for larger group functions. From a fiscal standpoint, removing Parks and Beaches 2.6 and 2.7 would eliminate their $100 fines, but they're already enforced under our general rules. The board reviewed and approved these rule changes as 28-day readings last month. It is recommended that the board approve the 28-day reading as presented to remove these rules from the Parks and Beaches section.
Thank you, Tiffany. Is there a motion to approve this rule?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Great. Member comments or questions? Does anyone want to read more pages in the rule book? No? Okay, board members? We're all in favor of a slimmer rule book? Say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Okay, another rule approval to remove the activities section. This is another section that the Rules and Regulations Reviews Committee reviewed, and they're recommending its approval. The entire section is almost all policies and procedures. These changes were presented to the board and approved as 28-day readings last month, and it is recommended that the board approve to remove the activities section from the Rules and Regulations. There is no fiscal impact.
Thank you, Tiffany. Is there a motion to approve this rule?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Great. Member comments, questions? Board members? Nope, we're all good. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Okay, the next section is removing the community garden section. So another section reviewed by the Rules Review Committee. And it's, the entire section is another one that's pretty much full of policy. There is one section of enforcement, but we are going to cover that in the community garden agreement. And we're asking that the board approve these rule changes. And they were reviewed last month as 28-day readings.
Thanks, Tiffany. Is there a motion to approve this rule change?
Motion.
Second.
Second. Any member comments or questions? Just to be clear, we are not getting rid of the community garden. We're just removing this section of the rules and including it in the agreement there. Okay, board members, questions, comments? All in favor of approving this rule on the community garden section removal, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Okay, last section, guys. So this is the member services section. So another section that was almost entirely operational processes. These rule changes were presented to the board last month as 28-day readings. There is no fiscal impact removing them. It is recommended that the board approve removing the member services section from the rules and regulations.
Thank you, Tiffany. Any motion to approve this?
Motion.
First and second, okay. Member comments or questions? Board member comments or questions? I have one. How many pages have we taken out of our rule book in the last year? From what to what?
Oh, sorry. In the last year, we're probably coming close to 20 pages.
Good, so is it? Yeah, all right, very good. All right. All in favor of approving this change, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany. All right, Ken, your turn.
Unlike our employee of the quarter, I just have one with 9 rule revisions all at the same time. So last month, we proposed and the board voted on a 28-day read to amend the rules that specifically spoke to when and where we could tow vehicles if we needed to. Looking at that, it had been gone through our legal review, and we actually have a vehicle now after this motorcycle parking area. We found a vehicle that's been here for a while and might be our first qualified vehicle because it's missing, handlebars and a license plate and some other stuff. So with that said, it is recommended that the board of directors approve the amended rules, all 9 of them.
Thank you, Ken. Is there a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Second.
All right, first and second. Member comments or questions? Board member comments, questions? I'll add one again. This is the intent of this is to allow us to address abandoned vehicles
And only abandoned vehicles.
and only
So
abandoned
not
vehicles.
using towing as a form of.
So it's not for
enforcement.
parking, it's not for anything like
No.
that. It's if you
Other-
abandon your vehicle and it's
No, this
on-
isn't Orange County. We don't do that here.
very good. Okay, all in favor of approving this item, 8.8, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Thank you, Ken. All right, Susan. Let's talk about reserve funds.
Good evening. Cash is moved in order to maintain proper intercompany fund balances from time to time. This requested action will transfer $1,200,000 from our enterprise bank operating account to the reserve and replacement investment fund at Schwab. In addition, this action will transfer $1,200,000. I'm sorry, that's a duplicated sentence. We're just moving $1,200,000 from our operating account to our repair and replacement fund at the Schwab Investment Company. In compliance with Civil Code 5515 and prudent fiscal management, it's recommended the Board of Directors approve the total transfer be made in order to rebalance the reserve funds for the 25-26 fiscal year.
Thank you, Susan. Is there a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Second.
Great. Member questions or comments? Board comments or questions? Susan, just to clarify, this is basically paying back a loan that we took from one account
Yes,
to the other.
we pay accounts payable checks through our operating fund, and we also collect the assessment revenue in the operating fund. And from time to time, we balance it monthly, but from time to time, we actually move the cash
Okay.
to make sure the cash balances.
There's actually no expenditure of money. We're just moving money from one pocket, left pocket to the right pocket. So to
That
speak.
is correct, and it will actually have a higher earnings at the Schwab.
Oh, very good.
Mhm.
Great. All right. Since it's financial, and we're going to do a roll call on this.
Director Cooney,
In favor?
Director Medved,
Aye.
Director Bill,
Aye.
President Van Vliet.
Aye.
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Thank you, Susan. All right, Steve. Oh, should take. Yeah, I should have taken Tiffany sooner.
Good evening. This BAI is for the Equestrian Work Group. The Equestrian Work Group interview team voted to appoint Delbert Dick to the Equestrian Work Group Board. It is recommended that the Board of Directors approve the appointment of Delbert Dick to the Equestrian Work Group Board contingent upon execution of a confidentiality agreement effective immediately.
Thank you, Steve. Is there a motion to approve this?
Motion.
Second.
All right. Member comments or questions? Board members, comments or questions?
Steve?
Lainey, I know you know Delbert. Can you give us a little more input on him? I don't know him at all.
I'm sorry, say that
Can
again?
you give us some, I don't know Delbert at all. Can you give us a little more feedback since I know you went through these committees?
We did. We went through a lot of interviews and process. And Steve, what I was just going to say is this concludes our last available current spot for our Equestrian Work Center Group Board.
Correct.
Great. Dell, as he likes to be
Mhm.
called, has been in the community for quite a while, has had family members that have had horses at the stables. Steve, anything else that you want to add?
No, he's very involved. His family is involved in the equestrian center. He has a granddaughter that likes to ride and actually started there at the equestrian center just taking lessons, and then now they're horse owners.
I think one thing that would be okay, I think if I shared, is that for a while, the family left Canyon Lake stables, although they continued to live here. And it was interesting, his experience was how much our facility has to offer and how much of a valuable asset it is. And that was part of Dell's willingness and wantingness to become part of this committee.
What a great story. Thank you for sharing that. Sounds like a great nominee. All in favor of approving Dell to the Equestrian Work Group, say aye.
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 Aye. Are there any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Okay, this is for appointment of the Green Committee. There are currently 3 open positions on the Green Committee. Jerry Minks has been selected for to be on the Green Committee, and Patrick Lively has been selected to serve as an alternate member of the committee. It's recommended the Board of Directors approve the appointments listed above to the Green Committee contingent upon execution of a confidentiality agreement effective immediately.
Great, thank you, Steve. I'll make a motion on this one. Is there a second?
Second.
Any member comments or questions? Board members, comments or questions? I'll add one comment. I know one of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to see a little more diversity added to the Green Committee. And Jerry does fulfill that. She's a woman golfer. Then so I'm glad to see a woman golfer on the Green Committee as well, and to replace Valerie, who sadly has just sold their house and they'll be moving out soon. So I think that's great. All in favor of approving these two members to the Green Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
This is, this BA is for ratification. This is for reserve fundings for a pool sewer lift pump. The sewer lift pump station pumps failed and needed emergency servicing and replacement. Work was completed with minimal impact on the operating times of the pool for the members. Fiscal impact was $58,345 from the reserve funds, 026700. Staff requests the Board of Directors approve the ratification for funding of $58,345 from the Reserve and Replacement Fund, 026700.
Thanks, Steve. Just to be clear, this, what is a sewage lift station?
So when, you know, the terminology is something runs downhill. When it can't run downhill anymore, it needs to be pumped over that hill. A sewer lift station pumps it over that hill.
Otherwise, it winds up in your pool.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Pretty necessary thing. Sometimes things break. Okay, is there a motion to approve this item?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Member comments or questions? Any board member comments or questions?
No.
Seems like a pretty important thing we need to do. Sometimes things break and we need to fix them, and that's why we have the reserves available. All in favor of approving this item, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Thanks, Steve. All right, Tiffany, one more time.
Hello again. Susan Fitzgerald has been recommended by the senior work group to be appointed as a new member. The senior work group voted their approval July 8th at their monthly meeting. It is recommended that the Board of Directors appoint Susan Fitzgerald to the senior work group. There was only one applicant for this position, and yeah.
Thanks. I will make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Board member comments or questions? Board member comments or questions? Nope. All in favor of approving Susan, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hearing four in favor, motion carries.
Thank you, Tiffany. All right. Board Liaison Committee reports. Lainey, let's start with you.
Okay, so I am the board liaison for the Equestrian Work Center, a work group, and the board. We had our initial meeting in September. We set our regular meeting date and time for the third Tuesday of each month at 4 p.m. Typically will be at the POA offices. I say typically because there may be times where we would need to meet actually out at the Equestrian Center. Anybody's welcome to attend as a visitor to these meetings, and feel free to come down. We're all excited to get this board and work group up and running. I'm really excited to see the impact that this group will make. I've been incredibly inspired by the energy, the excitement, and the innovative ideas that the people that have volunteered for this work group and board have come forward, and I'm really just can't wait to kind of get it off and running. So again, Tuesday, the 21st of October will be our first full working meeting, and with Steve from operations, myself, and the newly elected work group board. So that's on the Equestrian Work Center. With rules, as Tiffany probably just exemplified, lots of work on the Rules Committee. They continue to ensure that we've made any required changes or edits because of AB 130 that we keep talking about. And the committee continues to focus on consolidating rules, like we said, how many pages. But I think the important part of that isn't just consolidating. It's really their focus to make sure that they're user-friendly, that the average person can read them, understand them, and know what is expected and know what to do to follow them, and it's not in a like a gobbledygook of a million other things. And I think the committee has really done a great job challenging each other, reading it, interpreting it, rewriting it. And I think they're doing a fantastic job, and I'm really happy to be part of that committee. Lastly, the ACC, sorry, I take that back, Appeals Committee. The Appeals Committee's also had to make adjustments on the fly because of AB 130. You think it just like it affects, how much we can charge people, but what we're starting to see is the downstream impact into various committees and working. And the Appeals Committee's had to make adjustments in terms of processes and disciplinary process, and they did it on the fly with Ken's help last month. We expected, maybe a little bit more friction or more chaos, but it actually went really, really smoothly. And I continue to be impressed by the focus of this committee to balance enforcing the rules with a lot of common sense and practical approach, and making sure that every resident feels at least heard as they come through this process. So also really happy to be part of that committee. That's it for me.
Well, we'll start with the Facilities Planning Committee. We had the pavement project is kicking off on the 20th. We're looking at the slurry seal as well as redoing some of the roads. Concrete cross gutter repairs are underway already. We're also looking at clay leveling in the Galt Field area. That's scheduled for November. We are also reviewing Outrigger Park for a walking trail plan. We're also reviewing a pilot program for Happy Camp for DG placement. To speak to the SAC Security Advisory Committee, we are evaluating new tags that are easier to read for the bikes. We'd like to be able to know if they belong here or not, so we're able to see them from a little bit further distance. We're also looking into RFID technology for the use of identifying the riders and the kids coming in here for the ride outs. We're also looking into gate spikes or speed bumps at the exit lanes, and these are things that we'll be looking at in our next SAC meeting. And we've also looked into additional enforcement around the lodge. As you guys know, you're not allowed to ride your e-bikes out here in the parking lot, but we do see people doing that. This happens more in spurts. We see the kids, we catch a bunch of them, it stops for a while, it comes back. Then we catch them again, stops, comes back. So what we have to look at there is evaluating the times, try and get an idea of when things are happening. And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier about our community patrol manager, Ken, monitoring this online. He does a good job of trying to estimate when this is going to happen, and then that's when we build up our security team out there. And then to tie in the SAC and the FPC, the security fence on Longhorn and Appaloosa was started today. So we're going to see that fence taken care of. And I believe, correct me, Eric, if I'm wrong, that one is a wrought iron fence. It's a lot harder to cut than a chain link fence. And we should put spikes with barbed wire and glass and stuff at the top, right? Okay, got it. So that concludes what we got with those two groups.
Thanks, Jeff. The Green Committee meets the second Thursday of the month. They meet every month to talk about and provide recommendations on what should be done to address the needs of the golf course, whether it has to do with repainting, cement work, tree trimming, and other maintenance. The Tuesday work group, they've actually been dark during the hot months in the summer, but they'll be restarting again this month of October. And then I'm also participate with the senior work group. The senior work group, they had a meeting. I'll make my notes up real quick. They had their Oktoberfest community dinner last month. The last Sunday of the month, they have a potluck. It was very well attended, big success. They've got another one in October, the last October 26th, that is open to all seniors in the community and is being sponsored by the Mermaids. They're sponsoring that dinner. Their holiday boutique will be on November 8th and 9th. So anyone who needs to get holiday presents and so forth, it's a nice event to go there. I know there's a guy who makes great bread too that also attends that. And then they've got their New Year's Eve event that they're preparing for on December 31st. So that's what's going on in those. The other committee that we all share with and participate in is the ACC, the Architectural Control Committee. And it's such a big job because they meet every week, sometimes twice a week for many of those members. But it's so big that we actually share it among all 5 board members. So that's those are the committees that I support. Bill.
Hi, I'm the liaison for the Finance Committee. We've made some really great progress. We've been working on a dashboard. One of our goals this year was to be able to explain the state of our business on one page, and we've got an agreement upon page. Now, it's really interesting. It talks about income, year-to-date expenses, operating cash, reserve fund balances, and actual to budget deviances. And we will be sharing this with the members next month, so you'll be able to see that. The other thing the Finance Committee does, this is kind of the unsung heroes kind of thing. Oh, by the way, big kudos to Susan on all the work she did on this and the support from the Finance Committee. Believe it or not, our budget process for next fiscal year is kicked off. So this is the busiest time for the Finance Committee. We do a lot of work in the back, getting numbers together for the board and for staff. So that's in flight. And the third thing we're working on, and I'd say maybe we're a third of the way done, is we were asked to work on an HOA benchmark to compare our POA to other HOAs in Southern California, and about the relative cost of dues, and the different amenities. I also am the liaison for the Lake Advocacy Committee. I think we're in our second or third month, and we have finished a draft of 7 articles about our lake, different things around green algae, how do we keep the lake cleaner. We're going to be reviewing those with Steve Schneider and Tiffany and the board and make sure that we're all aligned before they get pushed out. So I'm very excited that, hey, this is going to be the first deliverable you'll see from the LAC. The other thing I'd like to announce is we do have an opening on the LAC. If somebody would like to apply, I believe it's already online. Please feel free to send a submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. All right, Eric, let's hear from the general manager's report, please.
Okay, we're going for a record short meeting, so I'll keep it quick. Thank you again to CLAPS for that generous donation. Thank you to the Fine Arts Guild for all you do for our community. We appreciate it, and I'm happy to be able to recognize those 2 groups tonight. Thank you again to Tiffany. Happy to be able to recognize you for all your hard work. Steve, thank you for all your hard work. And speaking of Steve and the operations department, Steve is wrapping up our motorcycle parking area improvements at the senior center. If you haven't noticed, there's a beautiful black chain link fence with brown slats in it that should do a great job of hiding all the motorcycle covers and tents and be much more secure motorcycle parking area for those motorcycle owners. We also thank them for all their assistance in moving all those bikes while we slurry sealed and striped the asphalt and put up the fencing. I think we should wrap that up in the next couple of weeks. We'll have cameras and lighting and eventually automated gate and key card access. So major improvement to the motorcycle parking and much better looking as you first come into the main gate. Our pavement project is also kicking off this month. We're starting with slurry seal and on last year's projects, last year's streets, and doing concrete cross gutters. And if you're in the affected areas, you'll be getting emails and notifications, and all of this will be on social media and various email groups to the streets that are going to be affected. We're finally replacing the old termite-eaten ranch estates monuments, which we took out 6 or 7 years ago because they were literally falling down. Those are being manufactured and should be installed around the 20th of this month. So that'll be a nice improvement that you'll see on Railroad Canyon Road on Black Horse and Sorrel. And this is kind of out of order, but somebody who was paying very close attention to our agenda, kudos to them, noticed on our page 100 of our agenda, there is on the distribution agenda that is online, and probably you may have grabbed one when you came in. There's an item on page 100, repair and replacement fund expenditures, And there was a column sorting error in here, and we do not have an HVAC unit worth $516,000. That was in fact the Galt Field lighting. And virtually all the numbers on that page in our agenda handout were assigned to the wrong item because of an Excel exporting and sorting error. So the item that says HVAC number 11 was $516,000. That's obviously the new LED lighting at the ball field. So kudos to whoever caught that. It went straight to social media like most things here. And we fixed it. So thank you.
That's an impressive catch.
It was a good catch. Whoever caught that, very good catch. I give him credit. Let's see. As always, I like to point people to the staff reports, which start on page 72. As always, that is the beautiful, colorful community services report, a work product of Tiffany and her teams. And I invite everyone to look at it. There's tons of information in there. It's a very impressive report. And just some highlights in there. The communications team created nearly 500 creative tasks this month, which includes communications, promoting major events, advertisement, club activities, community maintenance, notifications, etc. Also in that report, under community services, member services completed its digital form conversion this month, another improvement to one of those departments. The rec department coordinated 193 functions just this month. 66 club events and a small function that we call the Canyon Lake Car Show, which we do in conjunction with and in partnership with the Canyon Lake Car Club. This is mind-boggling, but if in that report you look back to the month of May, these departments supported 273 member functions in just the month of May alone. And so these people do a lot of work behind the scenes, and really thank you to all of them. And those three departments happen to be under Tiffany. So just giving her kudos again, and employee of the quarter. So thank you to all of our team and all they do. And thank you to the board for doing this for free. I don't know why they do it, but we appreciate them. And thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Eric. Good report. Bill, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I know this isn't exciting, but we found out something in the LAC that was very interesting. The POA owns our storm sewers. So all the sewers that drain into the lake are ours, that we maintain them. And anything outside of the gates is actually maintained by the city. It's been storm drains. You're right. I apologize. They're not waste treatment. That's accurate. We do not do waste treatment. I don't want Darcy coming to look for me. But we do the storm drains.
I just got an email.
Don't worry, social media already beat you. Just an interesting factoid that's part of our responsibility, and maybe there's some options there. Thank you.
So we need to call a POA to get the raccoons out of the one that's down the street from me? No, okay, sorry. Laney, you want to go ahead?
Well, one thing I wanted to put out there is, if people don't know it, we have Monday Night Football at the Lodge. Come on down. Don't drink too much, but have a drink, watch the game, have some fun, visit with your friends, and support your community and, the Chargers, of course. He's from Wisconsin. Pay no attention to him.
Jeff, you're going downhill quickly.
I have been going downhill quickly. And also, I just wanted to thank our operations group for getting this motorcycle parking lot thing in place. It's something we've been pushing for a while, and I just really appreciate you guys pulling it together. It took 27 years, but I appreciate you guys. Sorry, I can't let that slide. But that's really all I got, is I just want to say thanks to you guys, and I would invite you guys to come down for Monday Night Football and have a good time with your neighbors.
Thanks, Jeff. I want to congratulate the car club. For those of you who got an opportunity to go out, what a great day it was. Beautiful weather. The car selection was outstanding, and it was a great time by everyone. So another great event. It's one of our signature events in Canyon Lake, and just a beautiful job done overall. I was on vacation for pretty much all of September, so I don't have a lot to add on this. For those of you who don't know, I was traveling through Peru and Ecuador. I don't have any comments on the board, but I'll offer you a few thoughts of my recollections from the event. And that was, in thinking back about the time we were in the Amazon for a while, which is very lush, a lot of bugs, as my wife can tell you, some like this big. We were in the Galapagos, we were in Machu Picchu, the cobblestone streets of Cusco and Quito, and what leaves us kind of the biggest impression is the warmth of the people. Right, there's people that live there with very, very little in many cases, sometimes in little huts and so forth, but they're so appreciative of what they have. And that's what just comes through, that they just have this, they live with a spirit of gratitude, and you can't help, it's infectious, but to walk away with gratitude in that. And so, upon returning here, it's not only the places we reach, but the things, the experiences that we have along the way, the memories that we make, the lessons that we learn, but really the privilege of spending time with that. And what I encourage everyone to do is, Canyon Lake is a great place, but I also encourage you to get out and travel. It gives you perspective, on the little things in life, right? That can mean so much, but also more importantly, what a great place we live in. Again, I'm thankful to be able to have ice in my drinks. I'm thankful to be able to put toilet paper in the toilet anymore, and just all the other things to do. But that aside, we do live in paradise, and it's a great place. And so, very great, again, gratitude for everything that we have here. Well, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion.
All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
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 All right, good night, Canyon Lake. Thank you.